Hello, Motley Rue. What are we doing today? I know. Yes, that's what I say. Oh, she's leaving. Courage. Are you going to help Mama clean the van? Nope. See, there they go. I get no help.
Motley Rue, where are you? It's time to hit the road now. Motley Rue, so much to do. Let's see where this day will go now. Rolling on down the highway, dog ears in the wind. Let's find another sweet surprise. Motley Rue, where are you? We're chasing every scenic view. Motley Rue, just me and you. Cruising in the van like we always do.
But this van is a mess. Haven't done anything with it since we went camping last time. We went camping up in Happy Shack area in Arizona, up in the forest. And it had very red dirt that was everywhere. I mean, it was awful. But basically, this is the destruction after doing that camping trip. And I had engine problems with it running, and had to take it into the shop 2 or 3 times to have spark plugs changed. That didn't do it. I had to take it back and get the coils changed out, and some other issues. And then my check engine light came on after I had the spark plugs and the coils changed, and had to take it back again. And they found a vacuum hose was not connected or had come loose. So, finally got that done last week, early in the week. That I finally got everything running on it, and seems to be running pretty good. Knock on wood somewhere. But when I took it into the shop, I took everything out because he had it for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days the first time, trying to figure out what was going on. So I took my fridge out, took like all my food out, and I left my general stuff under the bed. But this is the disaster and the aftermath of that happening like a few days after we got back from our camping trip. So, I just have stuff everywhere. And it needs a good cleaning because it's covered in all that dust and dirt. I need to vacuum. Floors are a mess. The windshield is really, you can't tell from here, but at night I have trouble seeing out the windshield because it's so smeared up with stuff and dirt. So I am going to work on that. I'm actually thinking about rearranging. Thinking about moving my bed, the lounge chair with the mattress, over to this side, and putting the second mattress for my second person, which is usually my daughter, over on that side, and setting my refrigerator up front here, somewhere behind the seats. So I guess it would be over behind the passenger seat. Putting the fridge over there, and taking my metal stand. And how you doing, Motley Rue? You're laying in the shade. It's okay, baby. Go ahead. So this metal stand, because I had my fridge in this area. If you've watched my ultimate, whatever it's called, my video, I'll link it here. The video on the camper conversion one, where I went through the whole detail of, doing it from scratch, from it being empty and setting everything up. you would see that I had my bodega fridge sitting here. It just fits in this space. And because I had the fridge back here, I had to move this stand all the way over, in which I was not able to put this top shelf over here where it belonged because of this being in the way. And I had tried it on both sides, and just because of how these, the molding curves in there, it just doesn't fit. So I had come up with the idea to put the top shelf on this way, and I have used it. It has, been pretty handy. I set my fans, and when I'm getting stuff out of the fridge, I would set, food up there and that kind of stuff. At night, I would set my fans and my lights or whatever up on here, and just, used it as a shelf. And I was going to connect it to the plastic, but we never did get around to doing that. But the one thing is it wouldn't let me fully open the lid. Like, I can open it to get stuff in and out pretty good, but I couldn't open it up all the way on the refrigerator to where it would stand up on its own. And so if I wanted anything out of the fridge, like at night, once that I was in the van, I'd have to get out, at night or in the morning or whatever. If I wanted something out of the fridge, I could not reach from the inside and get into it, because over here I have my Blue Eddy sits on one shelf, and then I have my other food baskets that sit here. So that gets all filled with all my kitchen goods and my food that I carry, my dry goods, and then the fridge was here. It was convenient in the way of, having all the kitchen stuff right here, but I'm thinking of changing that. And I'm thinking if I put my refrigerator up front behind the seat, the front seats, then I can put the shelf on the way it's supposed to go, and it'll be more stable. But to do that, I'm going to have to move it over, and I have to see if I have enough clearance, which I think I would, because I got quite a bit of space here, so I can move I think it's actually moved. I don't know, I think it's moved back some. Since I've had everything unloaded off of it, that Blue Eddy kind of holds it down in place, but since I've been driving with nothing on it, it's been jiggling around a lot. But anyway, I have, probably 6 inches there that I can move it out towards, I think, without this getting in the way of the glass. If I just move it over, I'm probably going to have to have like a probably 6-inch gap on the side of it that I can use for other stuff, like my step stool and things like that. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. If it'll sit, with this still being able to lay down and have it more centered, I just think it would work better, and then I would have the fridge up front so I can access it inside the back of the van at night or mornings or whatever, if I want to make my tea. Now that the cooler temperatures are coming on, and I hope to do some camping trips, I'd like to be able to get up in the morning and make my tea inside the van without having to get out in the cold before, so having access to my fridge would be prudent for that. Anyway, that is the plan, and hopefully when I come back onto this video, it will all be changed and clean and a new look. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is my propane butane stove that I use. Nice little handy dandy. Does both the little butane canisters and the green propane tanks, which I haven't purchased those because when I got it It was a gift, and I got it with a case of butane. So this is where we're at now. A few days after the first part of this video that I'm putting together on rearranging and doing a new setup on the van. And I'm still, it's still a work in progress. I haven't put any of my bedding or anything on yet. But finally got it laid out where I think this will work. This is, again, if you haven't watched my other videos, you can go back and look at the first longer video that I did of my van setup when I first put in that shelf in the back and set it up for 2 people. I had my refrigerator in the back, and things were different back there. The shelf and all was rearranged differently. But I didn't feel like the refrigerator was accessible enough. So, and here recently, actually this week, I started doing Uber Eats again, and I use the fridge. If I have, you know, if I'm doing like shopping, delivered grocery kind of things through Uber Eats and all, and people have cold food, I'll store it in the fridge, that kind of thing. So I've moved the fridge up here to the front so that we can get in and out of it easier than having to open the back hatch every time I needed to access it. But had a little bit of trouble figuring out how the 2 beds were going to work because I did have the refrigerator over here on the passenger side, and then I thought, well, that ain't going to work because I won't be able to lay the bed out, the second mattress here on the floor. So what I did is I moved my metal shelf all the way over, and pushed it back probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches into the van from the line, like where you have to have things behind the line for the hatch to shut. And so that worked. I think the first time when I was trying to do this with the top shelf on, I was trying to set it like right up here on the line, and this was in the way and it wouldn't shut. So, because I thought I needed, you know, that room on the other side, but found out I don't, because as you can see, the mattress is fully laid out, and this fits and the hatch shuts. And what I did over here, so that I can keep my refrigerator up front, is I pulled my bed frame, which is like a beach lounge chair. I pulled it all the way back, and because I'm using a trifold foam mattress, they're flexible. And so I just wedged that in there. Now this is the foot of my bed, and usually if Paige is sleeping on the mattress on the floor, she'll put her head up at this end. I don't have any of my baskets or anything in here. I need to get my Blue Eddy and all put in, and I'll show that later on in the video once I get everything reinstalled. But these will be filled with baskets, and it'll kind of give a little headboard, per se, to her side so that she can sleep with her head up at this end. Just because of the lay of the floor, I don't have any special floor or anything. I haven't laid any kind of flooring or anything in. All I have is the puzzle mats and some foam and a rug, a couple rugs in there. So there's a gradual incline in minivans because the back end, you know, the third row seats sit up a little higher or something. I don't know. But anyway, all my seats are in the floor because I have the stow and go. This is a 2016 Chrysler Town and Country. So given that the natural incline, you know, goes up towards the back, that would naturally just be, you'd want your head to be a little bit higher. I mean, it ain't enough to really notice. It might be an inch or two, but, you know, you would have your head propped up higher. Now on my bed, I still have the head of it down at this end, because right now, the front seats have to be pushed all the way up and set up straight for it to work, you know, for the beds to lay out completely. But when I'm driving, I have to move my seat back and, you know, recline it a little bit. Both of them do. This will fold up, and I'll show that in a minute. As I will have to move, I just brought out some old sheets to cover my mattresses to keep the dust and dirt off of them, because living in the desert, everything gets dirty. Anyway, see, because I will need to move this back this way some, I have the head of the bed here. Okay, which also allows for, if I wanted to sit in the van and recline, I'm gonna have to pull that mattress down a little bit. Anyway, I need to pull the mattress out a little bit more so it'll fall down where it's supposed to fall. There we go. There, I got it right at the edge of the molding. With it like this, I just wanted to sit and relax in the van and recline. I can still have the hatch open and see out the back and use it as a lounge chair. But by putting that up, the way this bed is made, which I bought it specifically to fit because the main frame of it is 52 inches, only 4 legs. It has all the open underneath for storage. Don't know if that's a good view, but basically that's, you know, the only legs that are in the way. There's not like a bunch of crisscrosses or nothing underneath it. And it's a heavy duty, weighted for like, I don't know, 350, 400 pounds or something like that. But this, not only does it give me, when the bed frame is down, room to put whatever extra stuff I have, it allows me to pull the fridge back to where it needs to be. Oops. So when I'm driving and Ubering and all that kind of stuff, I'll have this fridge situated there. It'll allow me to move my seat back, and it should all be good. Plus my plugs that I plug into are over here. When I'm Ubering, I just plug the refrigerator straight into that DC outlet. But my Blue Eddy will sit back here on the shelf, and this cord is long enough that it'll reach back there to the Blue Eddy. I'll just have to route it under the bed when I get into camping mode. So that's it for now. We will come back when we get everything put back in and set up as it will be for a camping trip.